My Life, the Funhouse, is the story and the legend of Rudy Rude Boy Hill. From his lifelong work and association within the halls of the infamous Psychopathic Records to his devastating wrestling career as the world champion of the JCW wrestling promotion, the Rude Boy knows no boundaries or limit. The son of Southwest Detroit is known around the country and the world as the one and only Rude Boy.
And he says, man, I should write a book someday. And I said, you know what, you really should, because like I said, Rudy, he's been down in the psychopathic world forever. We've been talking 3 decades, and so much between the music and JCW, the wrestling. And I said, that would be an amazing book, man. And if you ever want to do something like that, I would be so ready to hop on board.
I gave him my number and I said, man, contact me and let's make this thing happen. And a few days went by and I was like, wow, he must not be interested. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a text and I'm like, oh, wow. And so I text him back, and it was a couple of days when I texted him back because I had to soak it all in, what I really wanted to do, the story that I wanted to tell. And then Carlito and I, we had many discussions on trust, because when you're telling a story, you have to entrust the author is going to do you right, and he's not going to make you look bad.
Like about the 4th or 5th day, man, I got a hit back from Rudy, and he said he'd been talking about it with DJ CARLITO, and they wanted to explore it further, and so I said, okay, cool, and basically from that point on, when the Project Born book wrapped up, that was where all my focus went into, and so we just went from there.
First thing I told Mike Shepard was, I don't know the first thing about writing a book, or I know how to read them. I love reading books. And me and Mike Shepard have the same passion of books, having them in your hand, opening them up, smelling the fresh paper, and actually reading the lines or the words word by word. And I enjoyed that passion that he showed me about that.
I didn't really know how the ending was going to look. All I knew is that we were just going to start gathering material and kind of go from there.
So we started to get that. We started to get this brotherhood. We started to get, and look, for those of you who've never been on tour or who've never had to live with someone for a few days or be on a bus together or being in an Airbnb, you learn about each other and you learn about your likes and dislikes and whatnot. And that weekend was real significant for me because once again, it took us over the line.
Running with Rudy took me across the country and back. We've done some amazing things. We've had just amazing nights, man, that maybe some people will never know about. Just down at CRB, after 2 a.m., man, feeling good and jamming. Like it was an amazing ride, and yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. My family got bigger running with these guys. I consider these dudes family.
But everybody wants to be near me because of who I am and what I've done. And this man didn't want to do that. This man wanted to tell the story. And on top of that, we just gained this great trust and friendship. And then when he told me the concept of opening up each door, and here's early days, darker days, happy days, sad days.
Step right up and purchase your ticket for entrance into Rudy's Funhouse. This one-of-a-kind concept book is a specially designed building in the shape of a book which houses a universe that is the Rude Boy's life.
What if we took all of these things, these stories of happiness, some sadness, something that's interesting, something that might be scary or dark or whatever, and we put it all under one roof, And the thing that kept jumping out at me was like, this is a fun house, man, and what is a fun house? It's full of a lot of different things, some scary, some exciting, you don't know what's around every turn and every corner or whatever. And I'm like, I really started to see it, and I was like, man, what if we took this concept of a fun house and just filled it with Rudy's life? Every door was a different gateway into another avenue of the man,
When you open up the book, you're actually going through doors. You're going through the doors of the Funhouse. And my life, the Funhouse, and God knows that it's been a fun house. It could have been a roller coaster.
To run with the Rude Boy for a year is probably like running with a normal person for 25 years. The shit you're going to experience in that 1 year, it's gonna blow you away because it never stops. It's nonstop, things do just all the time. And so with the Funhouse, you know, without giving too much away, you know, of what you're gonna discover when you do read the book, what we tried to do is basically not really separate it, but if you could imagine, you know, instead of a book, you're holding like a funny looking building. And the first part of the book is like, what's going on now? You know, this last year, you know, me running with Rudy, what is everything looking like? What is the wrestling looking like? What does RoX-TV look like? What does Cruising the Barrio look like? A lot of his world, you know, because I think for a book to really be effective, you kind of have to capture the essence of the person. And, you know, I wanted people to see literally what it was like running with Rudy day to day for the last year, what my life has been running with this cat and the shit that we were getting up to, the things that we're doing.
Here we are in some dive bars and we're hanging out and we're just enjoying our time together. You know, we're listening to Gordon Lightfoot, you know, at some bar in Denver, and people are like, oh my God, that's Rude Boy over there and he's jamming out to Gordon Lightfoot, you know, and those memories are great. However, they're also the beginning of a dark time and a time that has really changed all of our lives.
What happens is when you get to the second half, or what I would call the second floor of the Funhouse, you start to get some of these old school, deep, you know, memories and stories. Rudy taking you back, you know, to the late 80s, the early 80s, you know, what was going on in his world and some of the things, you know, just that really defined the man, things that had a lasting mark on him. And so, you know, that's kind of how, you know, the first floor versus second floor is. The first floor is like more like now time, what's going on, what's happening. And then with the second floor, what you're gonna see is more of the old school stuff, like I said, some of the cherished memories and some things that, you know, maybe a little dark, you know, and maybe people don't even know about. But, you know, the Rude Boy made it very clear that when we were doing this project, he was pulling no punches, man. You're getting full access to his life and the things that are on his mind and the things that he's lived through.
Just one. I've lived so many different lives. And everything I've ever set out to do in my life, I did it. That's why I couldn't understand when people would say, oh man, I wish I would have, or I could have, or man, that's bullshit. Just do it. I mean, I did.
This book can be read straight through or can be read at random, like the Funhouse is set up. No two doors are the same and could be days apart or decades depending on which path you choose. There are surprise guests scattered throughout the walls of the Funhouse.
Yeah, Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse. He does the foreword on the book. It's amazing, man. And it's really special because Violent J and Rudy, you know, they're like brothers, man. They go back 3 decades, man. You know, they've been running a long time together and they've been through thick and thin, good and bad, all the best times. And so it's almost fitting that, you know, that Violent J would do the foreword, you know, and he did an amazing job. And it was just, it was really exciting to have him involved in the book process.
I'm aware of the most important appearances in the book for me. My ex-wife is very important to me that she was a part of this book, and to tell her story of being with me and the highs and lows.
Like Ouija Mac, you know, he contributed to the book, and like I said, that's pretty exciting. Also DJ Clay from Psychopathic, he's in there.
My best friend in the whole wide world, someone who he's my best friend. Sorry. Carlito. It was important that he was a part of this book.
You know, Rudy's been part of the fabric of Psychopathic Records for all these years, you know, and then they came out and they showed him some love. So, you know, and I think that's the proper thing to do. The man deserves the respect, and he's getting it from his peers.
I'm excited about RoX-TV being a part of this. You know, I'm excited about the whole I'm excited to read what other people thought of me or think of me, or how I've touched them, or how I've hurt them. That's why I told Mike Shepard it is important for me. I don't know about any other biographies out there, but it's important for Rudy Hill that the story is told to the T, to the truth, sad, happy, or whatever.
We've come to the end of this journey, so to speak, but it's not the end, man. It's just a start.
And now I'm starting from scratch with some guys who have real passion. And that's really all that you need at the end of the day, because when I come into RoX-TV, you know, I'd look at it the same way I did when I went to TRL in Times Square. It's the same thing. I don't take it any different, any lighter, or when I went to Howard Stern, I take it the same way. It's very important, and I believe that not only did I have magic in a bottle once with Psychopathic Records, but I think we might have it here at RoX-TV as well.
There are doors, hallways, and floors to explore, so don't waste another second. Step right up and take your chance in the Funhouse, hitting the store shelves in December of 2021 in time for the holidays. Available at Amazon.com, RoX-TV.com, and wherever fine books are sold.